These may be the best all-around species catching lures ever. Welcome back to the Fishing Consultant, and today we're talking about spoons thanks to Blake A760 on Instagram, who left a comment about spoons and got the most likes. If you want to be featured on the next episode of the Fishing Consultant, leave a comment below about something you want to learn about related to fishing, and if you get the most likes, you'll be featured. Now there's many different spoons out there. I don't know which one Blake kind of mentioned. These are big flutter spoons for bass, and when it comes to these big flutter spoons, the 5-inch size is a great place to start. They make 4-inch or 6-inch depending on the size of your bait fish. This is a Nichols Lake Fork spoon, and the reason why these are nicer is they come with a barrel swivel. With a flutter spoon, the way that you fish these, you're gonna get a lot of line twists, so buying one that comes with a barrel swivel or putting on a barrel swivel yourself is a great way to make sure you're not twisting up all your line. With these big spoons, a medium heavy to a heavy fast action rod, because we're going to be popping this off the bottom. You want a little backbone there. Fluorocarbon is your friend, but braid also works. And with these, really, you're looking for drop-offs. If you're on a boat or if you're on a bank, a steep drop-off that you can cast to, you can launch these out super far and just let it start falling. And once it's on the bottom, you're going to reel your slack and also drop your rod tip pretty much to the water. And then you're going to give it 2 good hops to really get this flutter spoon back up and then let it come back down. And you're just repeating that all the way back to the boat. And that's how you fish bass spoons, but micro trout spoons. As you can see, I used to be a fanatic. First things first is the gear. Because of how small these spoons are, we're talking like barely a gram. I'm going to be using an ultralight rod. This is a Daiwa Presso Ultralight to 4 or 6 pound test fluorocarbon. I like to go as light as possible, but you want a light line to be able to cast these small lures. But also more importantly is to make sure we're getting the right action out of our spoons. So while with the big bass spoon, we're kind of jigging it off the bottom, letting it flutter, hit the bottom up. With these Japanese trout spoons, we're not trying to do that. We're actually going to be fishing these on a straight retrieve, on a very slow straight retrieve. When you cast out your spoon, if you reel in too fast, your spoon's just going to spin and you're going to get a bunch of line twists, and at that point might as well just use a rooster tail. However, when you slow that retrieve down, there is a perfect point where this spoon is going to do a kick left and right, just like it's going to feel like a really light paddle tail just kicking back and forth. But you want to make sure to kind of test out your spoon and really dial in that perfect reeling speed on these spoons to get that nice left and right kick without spinning out. And when it comes to fishing for trout, I find I get the best success when I'm making a very steady retrieve and keeping that spoon with the right action, just coming right through the middle of the water column, not rising or not dropping. And I know the question's going to come up, what about those Kastmaster spoons? The ones that aren't really shaped like a spoon, they're just like a flat piece of metal. Those are a little different. And those are kind of like the big bass flutter spoons. We're just going to be hopping these off the bottom to get them to jump up and then let it fall back down and just repeat that process. Thanks for tuning in to the Fishing Consultant. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment below. And if you get the most likes, you may be featured on the next episode. So what are you waiting for? Get out there.